Welcome on We Do Biz. We are in Marrakech for les RIM, les Rencontres Internationales du Marketing. We talk about B2B and sales, and I have the pleasure to receive the famous Jeff Davis. Nice to have you on the microphone.
Thomas, thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
So you are a keynote speaker, author, and a business consultant. You have just do a keynote about where you talk about the problem of relationship between marketing and sales. That is usually the case in a lot of our companies.
Yeah, it's a problem that's happening all over, small companies, mid-sized companies, large companies. And what I talk about in my work is we can no longer allow it to happen because the modern buyer is very sophisticated. They have access to tons of information. They have access to people, and they're just putting their hands up and saying, I'm not going to give you my business anymore if you can't figure it out. So it's more important than ever that companies of all sizes address the issue and really understand the importance of fixing the relationship.
How do you explain this misunderstanding between these two publics?
Well, I really help them. I help companies understand, first of all, that the relationship with the buyer has changed. And then I talk about the fact that we know a lot about sales, we know a lot about marketing, but there's this weird fuzzy area in the middle that we just have not really spent enough time to understand. And one of the problems I share with people is that most salespeople don't understand what marketing does, and most marketers don't understand what salespeople do. And so to start, we got to start fixing that relationship first so that we know what our counterpart is doing, and then we can build a relationship that's aligned and then really, really addressing what we need to do today.
On We Do Biz, we are all entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs will always want to do more and more and more, but you're saying on your keynote that doing more is not always the best way to do.
Yeah, it's true, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you have limited resources. What you can find is if you're just focusing on doing more and doing volume, your burn rate's going to be really high, right? And so it's important, especially when you're starting a business or you're an entrepreneur, to take the time, and this is not always easy, but to take the time to understand who your customer is, the easiest person to sell to that understands the value of what you bring and what's important to them. Because when you know that and you can spend time on doing those things, it actually makes you much more efficient. It's much more productive for your business.
Today we also talk about confidence between brands and consumers. What would be your advice to make this confidence possible?
Yeah, so it really comes down to building trust. And building trust is doing the right things consistently over time. And so trust is not one of those things that you can buy or you can say, trust me. You have to demonstrate trust. And I think it goes down to people look at what you do and not what you say. And so in order to really build authentic trust, you got to do the right things over and over again and convince the buyer, your target audience, that like you're going to do what's best for them, not just for you.
Are you a player?
I don't know what that means.
Are you ready to play with me? And just ask a specific question.
Sure, why not?
A We Do Biz question.
I don't have a choice, do I?
Yeah, in fact, it's the Tinder question.
Oh, I'm a little nervous.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I just want to know, as a keynote speaker, which is your next conquest?
My next conquest, that is a really good question. I think I want to speak in a stadium. I think that's the next big one. I've spoken on pretty large stages, but not a stadium yet.
So with pom-pom girls and
the whole thing,
and players,
like the
music.
NFL, like the Super Bowl, and then it's just me.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I will wait for it.
Okay, you are invited VIP when it happens.
With pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff Davis. Thanks to you, and we keep going on showing you les coulisses. Sorry, I don't know the word of the RIM, les Rencontres Internationales du Marketing. Merci à tous.